Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Filippa, and on this channel I try to cover everything I come across regarding healing, and specifically healing pelvic floor dysfunction and prolapse. And today I wanted to share some thoughts I have on a question that I get very often. The question is, can I lift heavy things when I experience a prolapse or pelvic floor dysfunction? There is actually no easy answer to that. What most women have heard from their doctors or physiotherapists are that you should not lift. It's going to create even worse symptoms than you already have. This statement from any practitioner is actually quite dangerous because it creates fear. It creates fear for you to live. You have to lift heavy things. If you are a mother, you have to lift your kids. It's like so obvious that you need to be able to lift things in your daily practical life. If you've been grocery shopping, if you need to fix something in your home, you probably also sometimes need to squat, or you could always find other ways to do that, but also maybe sometimes you need to sit slightly longer on the toilet. And all of these things, doctors and physiotherapists usually say, no, don't do that. What happens is that we are scared to do it. Of course, we do not want to have symptoms that are worse than what we are already experiencing. We want to reverse the symptoms. But the point that these practitioners are missing is that if we add fear in our nervous system, the nervous system will translate that to stress. And stress in the nervous system will not make us better. We need to have a calm, quiet, comforted, and safe nervous system to heal. I have had new mothers as clients, and sometimes they really want to not only lift their babies, but they want to carry them. And that has been one of their big visions becoming a mother. They want to be carrying their baby on their chest around all day long. And my clients have told me that they stopped because the physiotherapist told them you cannot carry. So they have, with much resistance, starting to use a stroller, for example, instead, which they didn't want to. They felt aversion, but they also felt very scared to carry their babies. So what I usually tell my clients is that you should listen to your own body. So if you really want to carry your baby, if that's such a big thing for you, and if that will make you feel calm, then it might be that this will contribute to your healing journey. Maybe your symptoms will get worse a day or two when you carry your baby, but if you start to implement methods to support your body, and if you feel happy from carrying your baby, not feeling limited all the time, every day, probably that will have an effect as well. So of course, the symptoms are there. We need to face them. It's really super hard because I know how hard it is with these symptoms. You become depressed. You feel someone stole your life. But from my perspective, and I think like any kind of healing perspective, would be that you follow your own body, your own intuition. And if that is to carry your baby, or if that is to do some exercises at the gym that you love them. And maybe maybe it's going to create even heavier symptoms, but maybe you're willing to face that because it's worth it, because you really love to do those type of exercises. So there's no right or wrong here. And maybe after some time of doing those type of exercises, maybe you say, I can really correlate the symptoms with this. I don't think my body wants it. Then you stop doing them. It's that easy. So I know following signals can be really hard. Like Is it your ego? Is it your mind? Is it just something that you've been used to doing for the past 10 years? Or is it something that your heart is longing for? It's different things, but only you can tell what is right. So the thing that I really want to encourage you to is to start to listen to your body. And for me, it was anything that made me scared or made me feel limited. I started to identify those things, and I never skipped doing anything for those reasons. So if I felt, no, my body is tired, I need rest, or this position doesn't feel good, then, for those reasons, I wouldn't do it. But not because someone told me you shouldn't do a squat or you shouldn't do a plank. And actually, I've been doing both those positions throughout, like even maybe not when my symptoms were at the worst point because I wasn't getting out of bed. But as soon as I started to implement methods to support my body, I became much more confident in actually listen to my body. And I did planks and squats and you name it. And as you know, I have reversed the prolapse. It might be that the prolapse are there from time to time, but I do not experience any symptoms, which makes me not scared of doing anything. And in a way, this is a way to live your life. You could be scared of crossing the street or, getting on a boat or whatever. But if you're going to live from that fear all the time, it will be very hard to enjoy life. So go with what you want to do, what your body wants to do. And just want to say one more thing about this, that it can be super hard to know what it is you want. For me, when I had the worst symptoms, I was in my deep dark hole. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I enjoyed anymore. So I had to kind of relearn all of that. But as soon as we can get a taste of that journey and start to be grateful for that journey instead of living from fear, that's going to shift the whole perspective, and we are going to experience how we can grow from this. Even though, the prolapse was the worst thing of my life, for sure. Like, I have never felt so broken. Now I can sit here and say that I wouldn't want it to have never happened. I'm grateful for it to have happened. It has opened my eyes in so many ways. The biggest takeaway definitely is the capability of our bodies. It's magical. They are so formable. Is that a word? Like you can form them with your thoughts. It's so powerful. And then also to explore all these ancient methods, and I've just learned so much. I feel so much wiser. I can connect with women and support them in a completely different way. Okay, this video was about lifting or not. I'm talking about a much greater purpose here, but I hope you can relate to it, and I hope something awakes in you when I tell you this. So if you can lift or not, it's like asking how long is a rope. Only you know if you can lift heavy things or not. The only thing, if you're gonna do it, if you are going to lift heavy things, I have 3 advices for you. Number 1, think about your posture. If you're doing hyperpressives, if you are really working physically with the body to improve the posture, there are different ways: Pilates, yoga, block therapy, many things on women's cycles. So then probably you are working on the posture, and you just keep your spine in a natural curve, and you use your legs when you lift. So this is a great moment of the day, if you are lifting things, to be aware of the posture. It can be hard to be aware throughout the day, like every minute of the day, but when you're doing this, when you are lifting, make sure that you are aware. So you are aware of your posture and you don't hold your breath. That's the second thing. Don't hold your breath. You breathe when you lift, and preferably you take an inhale and then you lift on the exhale. So that's the second thing. The third thing is this secret tip that you probably know if you have dove into the connection between, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, the jaw, the whole body is connected. And so is the tongue with the pelvic floor. So what you can do as you lift and breathe out, you press the tip of the tongue toward the roof of the mouth, like this. I don't know if you can see. But you press, and it will activate the pelvic floor just a little bit, so that the muscles kind of are aware that something will happen, and they are there to support you. So that's it for now. I hope you could take something away from this video, and let me know in the comments if there are anything that you wish I create a video about. Let me know if you have any questions, how I can best support you on this journey, and have a lovely day.